In this item, ESP researcher Tricia Robertson shares a case where she took an item belonging to a murdered girl in an envelope to an unnamed gifted medium. She knew nothing about the girl or the circumstances of the murder. In 15 minutes the medium gave her 29 detailed facts, 22 of which could be confirmed as absolutely correct. The others were not wrong, but just could not be confirmed. This is the account of a triple-blind experiment which utterly precludes cold reading and cannot be duplicated by magicians. They have been challenged and refuse to even try this. Tricia Robertson, pictured, concludes, if we calculated two odds against chance, allocating each statement a 4-to-1 chance of being correct, then the odds against chance overall are 0.0000000118 1 in 10 million. These figures are surely something which must be taken seriously. And here she describes in some detail how it happened, because people know of our interest in mediumship and other aspects of the paranormal. We are often contacted by people that we do not know. In 1996, a woman contacted me and wanted to talk about the death of her daughter. I duly met her, and it became obvious to me that she would have liked me to obtain a sitting with a medium for her. As she had told me that her daughter was murdered some 3 months earlier, I felt that it was too raw and too soon for that course of action. I asked her to tell me nothing of the events surrounding this death, and I suggested that we meet again, and I asked her to bring me a sealed envelope, in which would be some personal possession of the girl. She agreed. It was my intention to take the envelope to a medium, or mediums, and ask them to psychometrize it, and in that way, perhaps gain some sort of reading from it. At our next meeting she handed me a sealed brown A5 envelope. I could feel that the envelope was bumpy, but nothing revealed if it was, say, a watch, or a ring, or anything definable. I should also add at this point that I did not know which medium or mediums I would have access to for this task. I visited the medium unannounced and asked, as I placed the envelope on a table, "Can you get anything from this?" After a blank stare the medium said, "Do I have to?" The reply, yes. I told him nothing at all about the envelope, why I had it in my possession, or the circumstances surrounding it. I did not know much about the circumstances myself. Reluctantly, he placed his hand on top of it and, with a surprised look on his face, he immediately said, "I have a girl here with longish dark brown hair." He hesitated for a second and said, "She was killed. She is telling me that she had 2 tattoos, one above her left breast, in the form of 2 hearts intertwined. They are done in red and blue. The other is on the back of her right arm. It is a single rose in red and green. She lives in a cul-de-sac, one up on the right. Telling me she misses her 4 cats. She gave the name of her partner. I will call him Adam, pseudonym." At this point the medium was looking at me meaningfully, possibly for some acknowledgement that he was correct, but of course I had no idea if his statements were accurate in any sense, and merely shrugged my shoulders. My apprehension grew a little with his next statement. "She is telling me that she was in a named prison when she was younger." I thought, well, that's either right or wrong, there is no room for interpretation there. He then said that she had a terminated pregnancy when she was younger. "She is saying the newspaper reports were wrong, the description of the clothes that I was found in were all wrong. I was actually wearing a pink top, a gray skirt, and ankle boots. My photograph was moved from the mantelpiece to the top of the TV today by my mom." Adam was the first one to know that I was killed. He phoned my mom, the medium, and gave a description of her attack, which I will not elaborate on, but suffice to say that all of her injuries were reported to be at her back. She told the medium that a green car, possibly a Cavalier, and a red Astra were relevant to her death. There were 2 men involved, a white man about 5'6" tall, and a taller and thinner Asian. The medium also gave me a specific address in Glasgow, a top floor of a tenement building, on the right-hand side. With that, he said, "She's gone." The total time taken for this delivery was less than 15 minutes. I had recorded all of this information, and now had to find a responsible way of speaking to the mother. I made a list of the statements, and an appointment to visit the mother's home next day, for the first time. Other meetings had been in a neutral setting. As I entered the lounge, I noticed the girl's photo on top of the TV. I said casually, "Is this May?" "Pseudonym," she said. "Yes, I put it there yesterday, used to be on the mantelpiece." I then said to her that I had a list of statements made by a medium, but for all I knew, they might be absolute nonsense, so I would read them out one by one, and I asked her just to say if they were right or wrong. Every statement I read to the mother was absolutely correct. I did not give her the description given of the attack, and did not mention the pregnancy, as she may not have known about it. But it was established later that the girl's injuries were all at her back. I also did not supply her with the address given, or the descriptions of the two men, or the cars described in the reading. In total there were 29 individual statements. 22 out of the 29 were absolutely correct, including the descriptions of the positions, shape, and colors of the tattoos. She did have 4 cats. The statements that were considered not correct were in fact not able to be evaluated due to the fact that I did not give the mother all of the information re pregnancy, address, description of the murder, and the description of the men. So these were considered wrong for evaluation purposes. Simply put, 78% of the information was correct. This was not general information that could apply to anyone, but specific to the girl in this case. If we consider the information about the tattoos alone, regarding shape, color, and position, and remember that neither the medium nor the researcher knew anything at all about the people involved, far less the validity of the information, then this must surely give us pause for thought. Let us say that each of the 22 correct statements out of 29 had a 50-50 chance of being correct, which is obviously not the case, as it is heavily biased against the medium. For example, the medium said that she was missing her 4 cats. Who would know that she had 4 cats? She could have had no cats, 1 cat, 2 cats, 3 cats, etc. No other number was mentioned, as with all of the other information, just one clear statement. Even using this unfair figure of 50-50, for each statement being correct, the odds of the total reading, in scientific terms, being due to chance are 0.0029. If we calculated 2 odds against chance, allocating each statement a 4-to-1 chance of being correct, then the odds against chance overall are 0.0000000118. Approx 1 in 10 million. These figures are surely something which must be taken seriously. This account is exactly as it happened. For anyone who wishes to dismiss it, or, without supporting evidence, say that it must be flawed, I would be willing to take a polygraph test at any time from now to the end of my life.